My dear students of class 10, today we are going to discuss the next poem, that is A Tiger in the Zoo, written by Leslie Norris. Actual name was George Leslie Norris. The title of the poem is A Tiger in the Zoo. So, from this title, what kind of idea can you draw? What kind of idea? From this title, you can understand that a tiger generally lives in the forest, rather deep forest or jungle, right? But here, the title of the poem is A Tiger in the Zoo. Though it is now strictly prohibited to keep tigers in the zoo, but in the past, right, when we were small children of 6 or 7 years old, we used to watch circus, right? And there, the circus authorities, they used to bring tigers, lions, elephants, but nowadays these are strictly prohibited, right? So, a tiger in the zoo. From this title, you can understand that the poet is going to talk about something different, something which is not normal, right? Why not normal? Because a tiger lives in the forest, but here the poet is going to talk about a tiger who lives in the zoo, rather who is forced to live in the zoo, right? So from the first paragraph, if I read, you can see that the poem contrasts a tiger in the zoo with a tiger in its natural habitat. Habitat means natural living place, dwelling place. DWELLING, dwelling place, right? So natural surrounding. So contrasting, right? Contrast, opposite. So the poet is putting the one tiger who lives in the zoo in one side, and he is putting another tiger who is forced to live in the zoo. The poem moves from the zoo to the jungle. So from the zoo to the jungle means a tiger who lives in the zoo, another tiger who lives in the jungle, and back again to the zoo. So he is in one paragraph he is talking about a tiger who lives in the zoo, another paragraph is talking about a tiger who lives in the jungle, then again he is just mingling these two ideas. Read the poem silently once. Just read the poem once and say which stanzas speak about the tiger in the zoo and which ones speak about the tiger in the jungle. So here you have 5 stanzas, right? So in one stanza he is talking about tiger who lives in the jungle. In another stanza he is talking about tiger who lives in the zoo. So you have to find it out, right? So here in this poem, the poet is actually talking about the agony or problem of the tigers, right? Of a caged tiger or other tigers who were caged. So agony or helplessness, problems of the caged tiger and tiger or tigers, right? The poet explains what his life could be if his means the tigers, if the tiger had not been interned. Okay, or if the tiger is released, then we will see what the points are. Let's read the poem and we will discuss. Now, he stalks in his vivid stripes the few steps of his cage on pads of velvet, quiet in his quiet rage. See, he stalks. He means the poet is assuming the tiger as human being, because normally we use it in terms of tiger as animals, but here the poet is using he, so he is personifying. So one kind of poetic device, right, or figure of speech. Personification means he is personifying the tiger. He stalks in his vivid stripes. Stalks means walks, moves in a particular direction, or kind of follows, right? So here the tiger moves in his vivid stripes. Vivid means having deep or bright colors. That is vivid. Stripes means skin stripes, that combination of orange and black, right? So that is, or yellowish and black. So that is the stripes of the tiger, or the skin of the tiger, that you can understand the color, right? So he stalks, he moves in his vivid stripes, and the stripes are bright and deep, the colors black and yellowish. So these are very much bright and deep, not light, right? Not light but deep. Okay. The few steps of his cage. So the tiger moves inside the cage. The few steps means that cage has kind of particular area. So that's why the few steps. So a tiger generally moves in the forest, right? And there the tiger can move according to its or his will, and uncountable steps. But here the few steps of his cage, limited space, on pads of velvet, quiet. On pads means paws, PAW, is paws of velvet. What is velvet? Kind of fabric that is smooth, soft. Here the poet is using this velvet to talk about the paws of the tigers, because the bottom part is full of fur, and that is like kind of velvet, a smooth, soft kind of fur, right? So pads of velvet, quiet means that tiger moves inside the cage quietly, noiselessly, silently, right? And under his bright colored skin, okay, in his quiet rage. Rage means extreme anger, okay, that is rage. Violent, uncontrollable anger means you can't control that. But here the tiger is keeping quiet, remaining quiet, calm. He has to, right? So one cannot hear his footsteps because he has very soft feet like velvet. and because of which there is no sound of tiger's footsteps, right? And the tiger is trying to control its or his anger by walking silently in the limited area of his cage. And why the poet is using the word rage? Rage means extreme anger. So, suppose you are forced to do something that you don't want to do. What? The tiger is trying to, or tiger tries to go to the jungle, but here the zoo authorities kept him inside the cage. That's why the tiger might be angry, or a animal means an animal like tiger always remains angry, right? He should be. Okay, before going to that, we will discuss the figure of speech or poetic devices here. So the first poetic device that we saw, that he, that is personification. Why? Because we generally use it in terms of tiger, but here the poet is assuming, okay, or representing the tiger as a human being. That's why he is using he. That's why personification. Okay. Then next figure of speech is metaphor. What is that metaphor? Metaphor is a figure of speech in which the two different ideas are compared implicitly. That is metaphor. Here, the tiger's paw, okay, pads or paws are compared to velvet, pads of velvet. That's why metaphor. Then next, enjambment. Enjambment is the first line. If you see, that is first line is continued till the second line. Then you have one comma. That's why it is enjambment. Next, you have consonants. Repetition of one consonant sound. Here, if you see, stalks his stripes, stalks his stripes. If you see these three words, you will get a sound, the repetition of a sound. That's why consonants. Okay. Then another figure of speech that is very important is oxymoron. Oxymoron is the figure of speech where two different ideas, two opposite ideas are set side by side. Here, rage and quiet. Quiet rage. Quiet means calm. Okay, calm, peaceful. That is quiet. Rage, anger. Okay, that is kind of means extreme anger. And in this anger, you will make kind of noise. So, quiet rage. These are the two different ideas set side by side. That's why oxymoron. And another figure of speech that is there in this full stanza, that is imagery. What is imagery? Means when the poet creates kind of image that you can feel. Here you can feel the image that a tiger is moving inside a cage in his vivid stripes, okay, and also he is kind of angry, so you can feel this scene, this image. That's why imagery. Okay. Then we will move on to the next stanza. That is, he should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass, near the water hole, where plump deer pass. He should be lurking in shadow. Lurking means hiding, right? Remaining hidden so as to wait for its prey, right? So he means the tiger should be, must be lurking, hiding in shadow, shadow of the trees, grass, sliding through long grass. Sliding means go through smoothly. It is sliding through. Go smoothly without making any noise. That is sliding. Sliding through long grass so that no one will understand. And at the water hole where plump deer pass. Near where? Near the water body, kind of river or some place where the deers will come to drink water and the tiger will remain there. Tiger will wait there for its prey, and as soon as the deer will come, the tiger will catch that deer and will eat that deer. That's why the poet is now talking about a tiger who lives in the jungle or forest. So the first stanza is talking about a tiger who lives inside a cage or who is forced to live inside a cage. In the next stanza, the poet is talking about a tiger who is living or who lives in the jungle. He is comparing, right? So again we will see the figure of speech here in this stanza. First is enjambment, the continuation of line. You can see the second, third line. Second and third line continue to fourth line, right? Then you have alliteration, that is use of sound, same sound, repetition of same sound. Plump pass, that is P sound, P is repeated. Then the imagery, okay, imagery is there. Next we will move on to the third stanza. He should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge. He should be, the tiger should be snarling around. What is snarling? Snarling means warning sound made by animals. Okay, and a frightening sound. Okay, that is snarling. So he should be snarling where? Around houses, around the houses, at the edge, at the jungle's edge. Means edge of the jungle, margin of the jungle. Okay, means the where the jungle ends and the village starts. So there is a edge. There must be houses and the tiger must be there. And how? Must be, should be snarling around the houses, the jungle's edge, baring his white fangs. Baring means showing, show, or exposing his white fangs, white colored. What is fangs? A large, sharp teeth, basically canine of the dogs and hair the tiger. So it will expose its white fangs. The tiger must expose his white fangs, his claws, terrorizing the village. Terrorizing means he will make kind of panic, right? So if the tiger comes out, if any tiger comes out, then the villagers must run from here to there and will shout. This kind of panic situation. So the poet is talking about that a tiger must move around the villages at the edge of the jungle, and it must show its white fangs, its claws, right, and must terrorize the village. And as the poet is here personifying the tiger, that's why he is using his, right? So his white fangs, his claws, and he must terrorize the village. It's a normal tendency because a tiger goes at the edge for its prey. Prey means to hunt something so that it can eat. But now so again we will discuss the figure of speech, poetic devices, then we will move on to the next stanza. Okay, so again enjambment, continuation of one line, right? So here you can see the first line is continued to the second line, that is enjambment. Then there is another figure of speech, that is onomatopoeia. 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 What is that? Using words which denote sound. Means you will use kind of word that will denote kind of sound. Here the snarling. That is kind of idea, but it's also creating kind of sound, snarling, right? And a roaring. So that sound is there. So onomatopoeia. Then consonants, use of consonant sound. His fangs, again his claws. So here a sound is being repeated. That's why consonants. Then the next stanza. But means the poet talked about some situations. Now is again moving to that caged tiger. But he is locked in a concrete cell. Locked, interned in a concrete cell. Concrete means made of cement, brick, okay, that is concrete. And cell, kind of place, right? Small, so cage kind of thing, jail kind of. So concrete cell, concrete place. His strength behind bars, and he is behind bars. Bars means the iron bars. So his strength behind bars. He is showing his strength behind bars. Means he has to show his strength behind bars, right? Stalking the length of his cage, and he is stalking, moving on the length, the area of his cage, ignoring visitors. See, ignoring visitors. Ignoring means it's not caring, ignoring, avoiding visitors, the visitors, that those who are coming to watch the tigers, to see the tigers. So, and he's ignoring them, right? So again the figure of speech, personification, right? As he, consonants, right? So here he is strength, so a sound. Then we will move on to the last stanza. He hears the last voice at night. Last voice. The patrolling curs. What are patrolling curs? Patrolling cars means the cars which are generally used by the police to keep watch over an area. Right. Nowadays, during lockdown, the police are patrolling. Right. They're just moving here and there by their cars. They're patrolling. Actually, they are just keeping watch. Right. Means they are watching. Right. So that's why patrolling cars. And stares with his brilliant eyes. Brilliant means shining, glittering, brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. Stars at night, right? So he means the tiger hears the last voice at night. Last voice means when the police they are patrolling and the noise is coming. So last voice at night. Patrolling cars and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars, shining stars at night. So, figure of speech, enjambment, right? The second last line, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. Then alliteration, repetition of same sound, H, right? Okay, and the rhyming scheme throughout the poem, the rhyming scheme is A B C B. Okay, A B C B. In each stanza, if you see the first stanza, stripes A, cage B, quite C, rage, again cage and rage, so B, so A B C B in this way. Shadow A, grass B, whole C, pass, again B, so A B C B. Again houses A, age B, clause C, village, age and village B, so A B C B. Again cell A, birds B, cage C, visitors, birds visitors, so B, so A B C B. Night A, cards B, eyes C, stars B, A B C B. Okay, so here in this poem the poet is actually comparing the situations, right? Situation of a tiger when the tiger is there in the jungle and tiger is there inside the cage, the comparing, contrasting the situations of the tigers. That's all for today. Thank you.